Thanks, Joe.
Led by you.
It's a mockery of American politics.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Good morning, Lake Norman and beyond. From Charlotte to Statesville and back to Cornelius. It's Small Business on WSIC, and it's Mr. Mayor Washam's About Town. I'm Jim Vogel, the Lake Norman Small Business Network Chair and the owner of IMU Social Media for Small Businesses, headquartered here in Cornelius. For the next hour, we're going to focus on small business strategies, cooperation, not competition. That's going to be the theme today. And of course, when we started the Lake Norman Small Business Network 10 years ago, we still had a lot of people that were concerned about all the like businesses that showed up at our meetings. And one of the guys came up to me and said, hey, there's 10 of us and there's 12 of those, and it's too much competition. How come we can't be exclusive? How come we can't be like the only one in the trade? And I said, well, there's a reason for that. We're inclusive for a purpose. When you sit with your competition, ask them why they do what they do. What is their specialty? How do they advertise and get clients? How do they make money? How do they chase money? There's so many things that you can do to create understanding and involvement and partnering, and that's just the way to get better. So we've got a couple of great people on the show that I will introduce in a few minutes. We've got, of course, Kyle Corgan, Goosehead Insurance is here today. He's a recent LKN-SBN Business of the Month. Congratulations. And Chris Conrad and Associates with Keller Williams here in Cornelius. She also is a recent LKN-SBN Business of the Year, right? Congratulations to that. But before the intros get any deeper, I want to create some announcements for you out there. Of course, the studio phone number is 844-STUDIO-4, or I like it way easier with numbers, 844-788-3464. 844-788-3464. If you're out there, please give us a call. We want you to. This is WSIC 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM. Hey, Google, Alexa, play WSIC on TuneIn Radio. And you get it right away because we are WSIC News and Talk. Our WSIC app is always out there, either on Google Play or on iOS, and you can find that really easy. Remember, WSIC Local starts right here in Cornelius. Well, we've got some announcements. The Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce has a business after hours today at 5:30 at 6 Works Co-working in Cornelius. Check the website for details, www.lakenormanchamber.org. The young professionals are at Lost Worlds Brewing Company tonight. Come in, have a nice brew with those guys. It's a great organization of young professionals learning from what's going on between themselves and amongst themselves, and it's a pretty cool thing. Our First Friday's coming up on Friday, August 2nd. That's the LKN-SBN First Friday at Bin 110. We meet every single Wednesday, weekly Wednesday, at H2 Public House at 9 o'clock in the morning in Cornelius. And, of course, the Lake Norman Community Blood Drive is Thursday, August 1st from 1 to 6 behind Cool Fish here in Cornelius around, guys know where Antiquity is, and walk-ins really are welcome. Now, on to the program. Now, you've all seen those Depend-A-Worthy commercials during the news at night, and they're funny as heck. I don't even know what they do, but they're funny. But we've got a word that we've made up, too. It's cooperatives. And really, that word means partnering with another business, getting referrals from another business. When small business partners together grow together, they really do make a difference. Realtors with insurance, roofers with carpenters, and so on. Extremely important. Now, remember, success is a team sport. It's not rocket science. So we're so fortunate to have two fantastic people in the studio today that define community, that define networking, and that define cooperatives. They both create referral networks, and they're both really, really good at it. It was really, really easy to figure out two people that could do it the best. The first one, of course, is Chris Conrad, Conrad and Associates, a skilled and knowledgeable realtor who is one of our favorite veterans. Thank you for serving. Thank you for sharing that you serve. Also, Kyle Corgan's in the studio today. Goosehead Insurance, another great example of building cooperatives, and also another veteran. We thank you for serving as well. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me here, Jim. I've been a realtor with Keller Williams since 2009. Moved down here from New Hampshire 4 or 5 years ago, and had to rebuild my business from the ground up. So LKN SBN was an incredible opportunity for me to meet some people who help my clients, help me, and it was a really great place to start and really learn my business here in North Carolina.
Good. What's the first thing you did when you got here? Of course, you knew yourself, you knew your family, you probably knew the family dog. But when you got here, how did you get to grow your network, just from your own personal perspective early on?
Gosh, well, I moved here in March 2020. So if that makes anyone's ears stand up, that was really the weekend before COVID shut every single thing down. So I moved here with really not knowing anybody. I knew a couple neighbors, and that was about it. And I came across a person in my neighborhood. Well, I started a virtual happy hour in my neighborhood. And one of the first people I met was Lisa Bass with Legal Shield. And she invited me to come to to a networking meeting on Tuesday mornings. And I went there, and everything when I went there, I said, okay, who do I need to talk to next? Who do you think that I should meet? And so they connected me with this person, and then this person, and then this person. Then before you know it, I talked to someone who said LKN SBN Wednesday mornings. And so I found Jim. And so I just talked to people, and I asked people who I should talk to next. And I found a great organization in LKN SBN, and that was kind of the beginning.
Yeah, how'd you trip over LKN SBN?
Barry Nathanson, photographer. I knew I needed a professional photographer for my business. And I found him. I can't remember who introduced me to him, but he told me about LKN SBN, and then I reached out to you, and you said, send me your business card. And then, that was when we were doing virtual meetings, and that was probably for, a year, 9 months
the Zoom
or so.
calls?
Zoom calls,
Oh,
yeah.
those were terrible. Those
Zoom
were crazy.
calls, yeah.
I saw people in their pajamas.
Yes.
Dogs running around.
Yes.
know.
But that's
It
how I
was
found. That's
the
how I
craziest
found
thing.
them.
We always wonder what people wore when they're sitting down that you can't see at a
Sweatpants,
Zoom call.
sweater.
Exactly. Well, listen, we'll be back pretty soon, and we're looking forward to it.
Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Well, another day where you'll need to keep the rain gear at least close by. A bit of a messy start to our Thursday with on and off rain through the midday hours, but getting better as we go into the afternoon. Still could rule out an isolated shower or downpour, but most of us will stay dry for our Thursday evening. With clouds and some rain, we're cooler today with high temperatures only in the low 80s, falling back to around 70 overnight. Moving to our Friday, it's mostly cloudy sky with an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon. Your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses, like Top Notch Gutters of Statesville.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live continues their free music series on Thursday. 2 months ago, Ghostface Brewing and Waves Entertainment hosted the Battle of the Bands. The champion that night, Fortune 5, makes their Langtree Live debut this Thursday, July 25th. Come on out to Langtree Lake Norman to see and hear the Battle of the Bands champion, Fortune 5, this Thursday with music beginning at 7 p.m. The Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Come enjoy the music of The Highway with their dynamic and high-energy show. Red Rocks will have beverages on site, and the Birkdale restaurants are ready for your dinner service. Bring your chairs and blankets for the Highway concert at Birkdale Village on Friday, beginning at 6 p.m. The 8th annual Dog Island Jam takes place this Saturday on Lake Norman. Star from The Voice, John Sullivan presents the summer's must-see concert. Waves Entertainment will bring a stage, sound system, and LED walls to, you guessed it, an island on Lake Norman. Sully and Friends headline the concert on Saturday. Untie your boat or call your friends with boats and enjoy the Dog Island Jam concert on Lake Norman this Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway reaches the series finale. The 10-race series title night is on Tuesday, July 30th, with NASCAR night sponsored by the NASCAR Hall of Fame. See the champions crowned and the legends and bandoleros. Don't miss the next generation of racing superstars honing their skills and rising through the ranks. Gates open at 5 p.m. with the green flag waving at 6. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Hey there on this crazy, rainy Thursday morning. Welcome back as we talk about cooperatives, where competition is never a good thing in small business. Cooperation is the best thing. Co-opetition, if you want to call it as well, another one of those word salads that we've been noted to hear people say. But bottom line is, we're so glad to have these guys on today, and I got to finish my discussion, of course, with Chris, involving all the crazy things you do for the community. You're constantly doing something, and I really, really appreciate it. You tie a lot. You allow us to do the Lake Norman Small Business Network aspects of it as well. So tell us what's going on.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I really feel like giving back to my community is a huge part of my business. The things that I have going on right now is the week of August 5th through 8th. We're collecting tools for schools, and that is to benefit Caterpillar Ministries. So we're collecting all kinds of school supplies, backpacks in particular for Caterpillar Ministries. And anybody who wants to donate, please, you can reach out to me directly. My phone number is 603-969-1252.
One more.
603-969-1252. Or you can drop those items off at my Keller Williams Lake Norman Cornelius office, which is at 19721 Bethel Church Road, and just give them my name, and you can drop it off there anytime during the work hours. The other things I do is I do a coat drive for Caterpillar Ministries. It's a great little community and organization down in southern part of Huntersville. They do a lot of great work. We do that in December in conjunction with Santa Claus pictures. And then in January, we do a food drive for Angels and Sparrows. And first year, I think we collected 660 pounds of food. Last year, we collected over 1,000. So that was really exciting. Come pulling in with a full truckload of food for a great organization. I just believe that there's lots of things we can do to help our community. And so that's kind of how I approach my business.
Thank you. Now, speaking of ho, anytime you're at an LKN SBN meeting the next couple of weeks, please bring school supplies with you. Either I'll get them, I'll put them in the back of my sled,
Yes.
right, and take them over to the North Pole
Yes.
at Keller Williams. And these kids, teachers just don't have enough money out of their pocket. and you know that they take money out of their pocket to make sure their kids have the things they need. Number one thing, man, if you can find a backpack new, and bring it on in, because they just need backpacks first to put all those school supplies in. But we partner with what we call Tools for School, which is a derivative, of course, of Caterpillar Ministries. And that's just one of the programs that we actually work with. And I'm really proud of what you do. And again, there's a reason, as you know, I don't do anything without reason. I don't do anything without purpose. And I got to plan everything. Drives my wife, Susan. Hi, honey, out there. I know you're listening. Drives her nuts. And I also want to thank Bill, who's not here this morning, Bill Bakley. He is a brand new daddy, and I'm hoping that he's the engineer producer here. I'm hoping that he's changing a very messy diaper as he's listening to this right now. And I also got to thank the mayor, Mayor Woody Washam, who had confidence in me enough to know, yeah, he did it in college. He might be able to do that for WSIC. And I really, really love, being on the show. It's almost as fun as facilitating 50 people in a meeting. I truly do love it. And again, I've got fantastic people in the studio today. They define community, they define networking, they define cooperatives. They're both creative. They both have super referral networks. And without any further ado or ado, Kyle Corgan, tell us what's going on in your life, sir.
Well, it's great to be here, and I don't want to talk about me just yet. I think that Chris neglected to mention that she hosts a shredding event just after tax season in Birkdale, and I've been fortunate enough to partner with Chris on a number of different events that she hosts, and she does a fabulous job, and she's not, her arms aren't long enough to pat herself on the back, so she should be patted on the back. And so I'm very proud to partner with you, and I've been very fortunate through LKNSBN and the great work that you do with the KW preferred vendor program. Chris spearheads that, and it's phenomenal. It's unlike any other preferred vendor program that I'm affiliated with. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you for those kind words, Kyle.
You're very welcome. So my name is Kyle Corgan. I own a Goosehead Insurance Agency. I've been in the financial services field for 25 years. So Goosehead is it's my company, but Goosehead is a publicly traded, NASDAQ listed stock. So what Goosehead does is it gives me the ability to use today's technology and identify the best coverage, carrier, and cost for all lines of insurance. So that really gives me a competitive edge to leverage today's technology. Think of like a Priceline, or Shivago, or those kind of search engines that identify where the need is. If a hotel loses market share, they need to do something to attract people in. Insurance companies are no different. So I can take advantage of these insurance companies that are all A-rated and provide the most recent quotes that will provide people the best coverage, carrier, and cost. So that's important. That's the Goosehead PSA. But I'm super happy to be a part of LKNSBN. I've done a great deal of networking there. I've met a ton of people, and just by showing up and being consistent and being there, really, I think that's one of the main things that I learned in the service. Half of success is just showing up.
Yeah, Woody Allen once said 80% of success is simply just showing up. So you got to show up, and this really bugs me if you don't. Show up on time.
Yeah.
You say you're going to be at an 8 o'clock meeting, you're facilitating that, your fanny better be at that 8 o'clock meeting, right?
Yeah.
It's important to show respect to all those of us around the people that are our leaders, because the biggest mistake leaders make is it's all about them.
That's true.
If it's not to be a good leader, it's a very simple thing. It just ain't easy, because you have to put yourself almost last. You have to be the dumbest person in the room, and you have to focus on the opportunities around you and facilitating that. And again, both of you guys are what I call our local search engines, right? You want to be people that grow other people, because guess what? If you're successful, how am I doing, right? I'm successful too. So, it's very, very cool to do that and to have that opportunity. Kyle, what are some of the practical tips on partnering, networking, and building referrals? What do you think as you go to the chamber events, or you go to the LK and SBN or BNI or whatever? What are some of the things that you can give tips on that people can write down, get that pencil, get that clean piece of paper out there and write them down? Kyle.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing to do is ask somebody, who they are, introduce yourself, ask them what they do, and then listen intently. Because I know people that I can help align services with. So Troops Hall Junk, paint 360 painting. There's a need, and being involved with the real estate community. That's where I find not only great realtors like Chris, but I also find great loan officers. And so, we're all in this, weaving this web of spider networking, and one is going to align with the other. Mike Benfield, who has a septic system business, at some point it comes into play. So, and truth be told, I really try to focus on the veteran small business community out there, because, veteran small businesses are such a minority within the business world. We're really good at taking orders and executing orders, but entrepreneurs predominantly we're not. And so if we can exploit those veteran-owned businesses, I certainly choose to do so.
I wouldn't say exploit, but we want to promote them as much as we can, right?
Well,
I mean, vet-owned businesses are just amazing, right? Just like minority businesses, women businesses. It's a challenge not to help them, and we really have to be almost overt with that. That every time I see somebody, I always ask them why they do what they do, not tell me what you do, right? I already know that. I see it on a business card. I got 3 business cards in my pocket thinking I had a great networking event. Bottom line is, you've got to ask them why they do what they do and tell me something about yourself. And then what's the thing you got to do, Kyle?
Know, like, trust.
You got to shut up and listen, right? Because listening is the most important thing to do in life. And I am a lousy listener, Susie, you know that. But when it comes to professional listening, and the fact that it is very, very important, is I make sure that I do that correctly. And it's not easy when somebody doesn't like listening as a normal thing, right? I'm too busy doing other stuff. But it's really, really important, again, as we almost head to a break, that the opportunity is that we have to grow every single day just a little bit better.
So I did use the word exploit, and I did it with intent.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Well, just because the veteran-owned business group is smaller than minority-owned,
right,
and women-owned businesses. And
right. Well, we're going to exploit us all the way to the backside of this break right after this.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the Community Calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Well, another day where you'll need to keep the rain gear at least close by. A bit of a messy start to our Thursday with on and off rain through the midday hours, but getting better as we go into the afternoon. Still could rule out an isolated shower or downpour, but most of us will stay dry for our Thursday evening. With clouds and some rain, we're cooler today with high temperatures only in the low 80s, falling back to around 70 overnight. Moving to our Friday, it's mostly cloudy sky with an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon. It's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
This is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Looking for a large private room for your next work function? Or maybe you need a place to bring the whole family for a delicious meal? Pomodoros of Mooresville has the perfect space for your crowd. Book your next event at Pomodoros.com.
Folks, here at Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, we have got the brand new 2025 Chevrolet Traverse in stock, all redesigned from front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. Come see them today. We have got a great selection of these new Traverses ready for you to take home. And also, we got great discounts on our Silverado trucks. We got the regular cab, crew cab, double cabs, discounted up to $9,000 off. Great selection, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
The school year may have ended, but WSIC's Teacher of the Month contest is still in session. Head to WSICnews.com to vote for your favorite teacher. Winners receive prizes from Nina's Boutique and Brighter Smiles.
Parents can find a quality classical Christian education at Headwaters Academy. For more information, the phone number is 704-876-1520.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. American Airlines is slashing its earnings outlook for this quarter and the full year. It's just the latest carrier to temper expectations as a glut of flights has caused industry-wide fare discounting, combined with high costs to squeeze earnings. American is forecasting a drop in unit revenue of as much as 4.5% for this quarter. Fewer Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week, but applications remained at relatively elevated, though not troubling levels. Jobless claims fell 10,000 to 235,000. With inflation pushing shoppers to buy cheaper store brands, the world's biggest food maker, Nestle, is lowering its sales outlook for the year. Move comes as consumers flinch at price hikes on name brand food, water, and pet care products, which had fueled revenue growth. Stock indexes splitting it right now. Dow gaining 1/3%, NASDAQ losing 1/4, S&P 500 little changed. Oil futures down another % to below $77 a barrel. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Now, more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
We're back. It's Jim Vogel with Kyle Corgan and my good buddy Chris Conrad. And we're here the balance of the hour to talk about cooperation, not competition, when we deal with small business owners and solopreneurs. It's really important that we find out the people around us and what they bring to the table. Because what they bring to the table is stuff that we can borrow too. Remember, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. If somebody lived next to me and they did social media for skilled trades, I'd be all over that. Why not? There's plenty of people out there and plenty of business out there. You just got to get off the couch. You just got to start planning your day. You got to make sure your afternoon and mornings are full of stuff that helps you, because without you, there ain't no money. It's small business, right? So we really want to make sure that we have that. And again, having two experts here that are referral generators, just amazing. Now, how did you guys align your efforts to share objectives? Chris, go.
So, well, I'm not Chris, I'm Kyle.
Kyle, go.
So, Chris and I, me being an insurance agent, it's really organic for a new home closing to go out and shop their rates. And given the fact that I have access to over 55 different carriers, and it takes me almost no time to identify that best coverage carrier and cost. And so I'd like to think that Chris saw value in that.
Absolutely.
And, our time is our most precious commodity. And so as opposed to an individual going out and contacting said insurance company and spending, 30 minutes of their time with carrier A and 30 minutes of their time with carrier B, there's value in what I can bring to the table. And I think Chris saw that. And I that's part of the reason why we've partnered up. And she's been a very valuable business partner since I started this Goosehead franchise.
Thank you. Chris, what is your slant on what he just said?
Yes, my angle. We were talking about this before we came on air, and Kyle reminded me that he connected with my broker in charge, Dan Callahan, who was wearing a KW military hat in a establishment out there, and so that's how Kyle and Dan connected. And Dan said, "Oh, you need to speak with Chris Conrad. She's kind of runs our KW preferred vendor program, and what that is it's just a group of businesses that support our office, our agents, and our clients, and it really kind of started out very organically after COVID. Me wanting to, we needed to get our office cleaned, so I knew a company that could do that, and then we needed something that could do this, and so, but Dan connected with Kyle, and then Kyle he put me together with him, and then it, like Kyle was saying, it's just really it's something that my clients need in the course of the transaction, and knowing that we have a great resource there it's been really good. I know I can trust that when I hand my clients over to Kyle that they're going to be very well cared for, and that's for me as a realtor. I want my people to think of me as their Rolodex, like you were saying earlier, or their Google page for us older folks, and so when I make a recommendation or refer someone, it's super important to me that that person that I'm referring is competent and is going to take very good care of my people, because it's a reflection on me if something goes off the rails and it doesn't work out. So, I have a lot of confidence whenever I know that my people are going to be talking to Kyle.
Yeah, good. What's the current situation here in the real estate market? I know it's got to be tougher now than it was maybe during COVID, where, things were kind of balancing for both the buyer and the seller at the time. What's going on currently?
Well, the Charlotte market in general is very strong, and I think the Cornelius, LKN area is even stronger than that. I mean, we're still seeing, price appreciation, in a more modest 4 to 5% over, year over year. It's kind of we're in a weird place because it's still what I would consider a seller's market, because there's just no inventory. But buyers are a lot more particular, and they have a little bit more negotiating room. But I think, if the interest rates do come down like we're expecting, I say expecting with quotes here, air quotes, we're hoping that we'll see an interest rates cut, probably September. I think that is going to push a lot of buyers off the couch and out into the market, and then we're going to kind of be chasing our tails again, because the interest, there's just not a lot of inventory. There's not a lot for people to be looking at. There's going to be more buyers out there. We're going to be in multiple offer situations again, and so I'm telling my buyers, get out there now while they can date the interest rate rather than marry it, and then once rates come down, they can refinance, and they're not going to be competing against as many people. So it's just it's been very different and very challenging since COVID. So,
yeah, thanks. Now, Kyle, on your end with insurances, of course, insurance businesses are in the papers every day. People are kind of mad that they got to raise their deductibles, and they just got hit with a major adjustment to their current car insurance, even though the car is a year older and it ain't driven that much, right? How do you handle that kind of stuff when people call you and say, "Hey, what's going on with my car insurance?"
Well, that's a good question. I would just say, premium increases are coming, and they continue to increase year over year because we're having a lot more natural disasters. There's contraction of insurance companies within states. So, you may be familiar with whatever Progressive or carrier ABC. If they're not profitable in the state of North Carolina, they'll leave. So that it limits choices within each state. And in order to operate within the state, these insurance companies are run by actuaries essentially, and they put out the numbers. So premium increases, yeah, they're coming. They're pretty much here to stay. When the cost of materials and goods are always on the rise. I mean, gosh, pre-COVID, we were rebuilding. So insurance is based upon, or at least homeowners insurance is based upon the cost to rebuild if you experience a total loss. Pre-COVID, we were at about $125 a square foot in the greater Charlotte region, dependent upon for a modest home. We're now at about $200 per square foot. And that lends itself to the cost of skilled labor and materials. Materials have come down reasonably, but again, really the cost of skilled labor. That's what's driving rates. So, and that's not something, somebody has, I don't have any claims. My auto insurance goes, well, we get a hurricane in the state, or we get floods in the mountains, or whatever the case may be. The whole idea of insurance is to spread the risk across everybody. Well, when the average cost of a new car is $48,000, rates have to go up. So, and it's not anything that anybody wants to hear, but bad news doesn't get any better with age, and that's what the insurance companies have to confront.
I was reading that the cost of a windshield replacement in a brand new car, because there's so much communications architecture built into that windshield, that it's just not popping out, popping in like you did 20 years ago. They got to hook this, they got to line this, they got to sinker that, right? And it's expensive, $1,000 to $3,000, $4,000 to replace a windshield, only a windshield, which is why I have a 100% replacement guarantee on my windshields. I pay that little extra for that, right?
Right.
But let me ask you, Kyle, about cooperating businesses and how you fall into them, and what do they need to bring to you in a referral or partnering situation for you to move forward with them?
Well, I think one of the main things that we cover at LKN SBN is if you meet somebody, schedule some one-on-one time so you can ascertain if trust this person. So through those one-on-ones, I have created relationships with other insurance professionals within LKN SBN. My philosophy, one of my go-to quotes is, if I can, I will. If I can't, I'll let you know that too. But to add to the if I can't, I contact other insurance professionals that may not have the carriers that I have to refer them that business. Because somebody's coming to me with a need. As a professional, I need to see to see that need through. And whether it's with me or with one of my colleagues, but business partners that are in the insurance industry, I want to make sure that people get taken care of.
Thanks. We got to pool our stuff, right? The LKN SBN is a game room with a pool table and sticks and balls and stripes and solids. And we set it all there. And if you're not hitting it, you're not getting it. And we're going to be back right after this.
Have your say.
Trusting the government to fix anything is a joke.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't even trust the banks with our money.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Well, another day where you'll need to keep the rain gear at least close by. A bit of a messy start to our Thursday with on and off rain through the midday hours, but getting better as we go into the afternoon. Still could rule out an isolated shower or downpour, but most of us will stay dry for our Thursday evening. With clouds and some rain, we're cooler today with high temperatures only in the low 80s, falling back to around 70 overnight. Going into our Friday, it's mostly cloudy sky with an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon. Your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live continues their free music series on Thursday. 2 months ago, Ghostface Brewing and Waves Entertainment hosted the Battle of the Bands. The champion that night, Fortune 5, makes their Langtree Live debut this Thursday, July 25th. Come on out to Langtree Lake Norman to see and hear the Battle of the Bands champion, Fortune 5, this Thursday with music beginning at 7 p.m. The Live Under the Oaks concert series continues on Friday at Birkdale Village in Huntersville. Come enjoy the music of The Highway with their dynamic and high-energy show. Red Rocks will have beverages on site, and the Birkdale restaurants are ready for your dinner service. Bring your chairs and blankets for The Highway concert at Birkdale Village on Friday, beginning at 6 p.m. The 8th annual Dog Island Jam takes place this Saturday on Lake Norman. Star from The Voice, John Sullivan presents the summer's must-see concert. Waves Entertainment will bring a stage, sound system, and LED walls to, you guessed it, an island on Lake Norman. Sully and Friends headline the concert on Saturday. Untie your boat or call your friends with boats and enjoy the Dog Island Jam concert on Lake Norman this Saturday. The Cookout Summer Shootout Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway reaches the series finale. The 10-race series title night is on Tuesday, July 30th, with NASCAR night sponsored by the NASCAR Hall of Fame. See the champions crowned and the legends and bandoleros. Don't miss the next generation of racing superstars honing their skills and rising through the ranks. Gates open at 5 p.m. with the green flag waving at 6. Visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets, details, and information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Now, more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Hey, we're back, and no, this is not the good mayor of Cornelius, Woody Washam. This is just Jim Vogel wishing everybody a great wet Thursday. We're talking about cooperation versus competition in our small business environment. And we also would like you, if you get a second, we got about 15 minutes to go in the show, please call us at 844-788-3464. Again, 844-788-3464. 3464 and say hi. I know that you're out there listening because this is a great show today. We don't waste time here. We focus on the good stuff. But bottom line is, I've got a question, of course, for my buddy Chris. How do you manage, how do you leverage, what was that question we were talking about? I know I've lost my way. How does cooperation foster innovation?
I think it really lends itself to thinking out of the box. And I, as a realtor, I'm a problem solver. I know what the consumer sees is me opening a door and talking about like this great kitchen, look at that closet. But it really is, how do we get from walking in the door, my client falling in love with it, and getting to the closing table and beyond. And it's really all about problem solving. And, there's a lot of things that come along the line in the course of a transaction that most people wouldn't know how to deal with. And so I lean heavily on my partners, insurance, home inspectors, septic inspectors, water people, to help me whenever we encounter an issue. How do we get through that? And certainly I have a point of view, and I have this is how I think this should happen. But when I consult my experts, they may have a completely different approach to it, which they're the experts. So that's who I need to really rely upon. So I think it really, it takes a community to get a transaction from, to the closing table. And I really always rely on my roofers and my carpenters and everybody to help me understand what my problems are and how I need to solve them.
Yeah, how about yourself, Cobb? When you're going in for, a little light bulb will go off, right, that says, well, I just learned something from that person. How do you work with that once you become a little bit better?
It's always keeping my ears open and identifying through, questions what's important to people. So when you talk, insurance, who doesn't love talking about insurance? But, exactly. So identifying what's most important to these people. So you can increase your deductibles. That's going to put more of your skin in the game. But some people, they don't want to sacrifice coverage. So they want to know if we lose electricity for 3 days, that the food that's in their refrigerator and freezer is going to be replaced by the insurance company, no questions asked. That's one little piece. So I don't know if that necessarily is answering your question.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
But it's identifying, what's important to people, because, if people want their premiums, so the premium is what you pay. If you want those premiums to be lower, you're going to increase the deductibles on the policy. So what the insured is going to be more responsible for, if that makes sense. So the premium is what you pay to have the insurance. The deductible is what you pay if you have a claim. Make sense?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, really, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, people are going to vote pretty soon, right? And it's every page in the newspapers, news, you're hearing good, bad, and indifferent. We'll vote for the people we want to vote for, and we won't vote for the people we don't want to vote for. And it's the same thing in referral generation, the same thing in partnering, it's the same thing in our meetings. You're looking for a certain skill set to work with that's more aligned to what you want. Tell us what kind of skill set, Chris, are you looking for to partner with?
First thing is someone who's responsive. I think it's super important when I refer someone that person picks up the phone and talks to my client. Because and it needs to be kind of a fairly expeditious response, because sometimes I just need a little bit of information, but it's critical and I need it before I can move on. And so to have that person pick up the phone, call me back is huge. They need to be experts in their field. I really, and that's one thing that I've really appreciated about LK and SBN is, there's a lot of experience in there. There's a lot of people that I can reach out to, and they're gonna answer my questions and help me along, and I really, really appreciate that. It's just being responsive to whatever it is I'm looking for is critical.
Yeah, thank you. I got to think like Bill Russell from the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce. They drive so many of their new members to us.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they do, and that Stacy Bright, of course, does the same thing. In fact, it is the Stacy Small Business Network. If you're out there listening, Stacy.
You do a great job, Stacy.
I don't have a clue who that lady is. But she's here, there, and there. Just look on Facebook. There's 14 billion things about that young hero that we love, right?
She does a great job.
Just amazing. What are you looking for in a partner too, Kyle?
Competence and responsiveness. I mean, to cut it deliberately short, competence and responsiveness. That's it. I mean, it's really that simple. Show up. Showing up is like the good mayor said, 80% of the gig, right? But be competent, be accountable. That's it. It's really simple for me.
Now, what was Woody Allen, not Woody Washam?
I'm sorry.
But we love you both, right? But bottom line is, and you have to ask. ASK is an acronym. Apply strategy with knowledge. Every single thing we're saying professionally has to have a purpose, right? I mean, we can chit-chat over a beer and talk about the Yankees and the Tigers and the Red Sox, whatever. But when we're in a business environment, we're trying to grow, we've got to be able to ask the right questions, right, Chris?
Absolutely.
Well, you can expand on that a second.
I think, knowing sometimes when I go into a problem, when I have when I'm exposed to a problem, I don't even know what I don't know. And so having the experts that I can go to and have them explain to me what what my issue is, because sometimes I don't know all of it. And so that's super important to have those resources and have those people that I can rely upon. I can pick up the phone. They're going to call me back. They're going to be the expert. They're going to help me figure out strategy and a way forward. That's super important. And that's really what my networking groups have done for me, is help me find those people.
Yeah, partnering is such a benefit, isn't it? But you got to look for the right partners, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, if you pay attention to people in a positive way and you involve them in what you do, you can be married 50 years, right? And it's the same thing with partnering in business.
Right.
You pay attention to the other person, you listen, and you focus on what you can do to make things better by involving yourself within what they're doing, right? It just makes sense to have that cooperation versus competition thing. And I'm so glad that we, all three of us, agree on that, and that the LK and SBN is really born into that. We're tired of the fighting and the negativity and all those things out there that you're hearing, whether it's a business person or a politician. Why are you doing that? Always focus on the positives. Always focus on the energy to make things happen. It's extremely important. Think before you say something, right? Is it of value, V-A-L-Y-O-U, right? Does it benefit the other person if you say this? And is it the right time to say this? And if you just put that in the back of your head professionally before you start doing the mouth thing, man, you're going to end up with lots of people loving you because we're not number one. Everybody around us is, right, guys?
Yeah.
Here's some points to remember as you build your cooperation versus competition. A business card is not just a card. It's the beginning of a connection, and you have to really work with that. First impressions are everything, aren't they? Extremely important. Contacts are relationship generators. You know, you have 400 people that you meet every single month, whether it's the Publix lady at the bakery, whether it's your newspaper guy, whether it's the guy at the gas station, your neighbor, you're meeting 400 people. They know who you are. Do they know what you do? Because it's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's who knows you. Number one, because they're going to come to you for referrals. They're going to come to you for guidance. They're going to come for you for opportunity. Kyle, give me a couple of last thoughts before we start closing the show.
I hit my feet hit the floor in the morning. My first thought is, thank God. My second thought is, don't be a jerk.
I like that. There's actually some good books out there. If you just Google, I don't want to work with jerks, there's a whole bunch of those books. Chris, tell us your final thought.
I don't know if I can beat that, Kyle. Don't be a jerk.
I like that.
I like that.
Remember The Jerk?
It's a challenge.
It was a great movie. 1979, a great movie.
I'm just grateful to be here and talking with you guys. I appreciate you both so much. I've learned so much from both of you, and I've gotten so much from LK and SBN, and I'd love for everybody out there listening who's not part of our little group to come check it out and see what it's all about, because it's a really great place to make some great friends, great business contacts, and just, good place to start your day on a Wednesday.
That's H2 Public House here in Cornelius. It's a great eatery. Thank you for listening today, people. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor Washam, for giving us this wonderful platform. Thank you, Joe, the man, for steering the ship as a WSIC Studio C producer and engineer of the day. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Chris. You guys are so great. So as we end the show, remember, life is too short for bad radio. See you soon.